Start with like me though. When you say like me, like what is that identity or that sense of self you're holding that you think is?
I mean, I feel like Black women are not listened to. You know, a lot of stuff could have been prevented if we had just listened to Black women. And so, and certainly not disabled folks are not listened to. Single moms not listened to. So I could go on and on. I grew up, you know, kind of poor. Nobody listens to poor people. So there are like multiple layers of an invalidation of perspective that I have been made aware of, and then yet we speak anyway, right? So I think that's what's going on.
That sense of resistance. And so in terms of, again, circling back to that sense of disability, of non-normativity, how does that play for you as a poetics? Like how do the poems kind of circle or hold on to that?
Well, I think there is certainly a refusal to be identified as lesser, even though there is disability. Like, I'm struggling to write through it, like an essay about poetics of disability, because I'm working on a book of criticism about of poetics, and so this is the disability poetics is the last essay, and it's really, really long and kind of like spreading out. So I'm thinking about how I want to refine it. So I'm glad you asked this question. I think that what I hope is that we could exist in a world that makes room for everyone as the default, instead of being so restrictive and having rigor be defined as exclusionary or excellence being defined as exclusionary, instead approaching it from the opposite direction. So how can we challenge ourselves to include more people, include more voices, include more care in the way we interact with each other, in the way we build public space, in the way we make policy? What would happen if we challenged ourselves to do that? So just like thinking differently, turning things around from what's not working.
Right.
And recognizing that what works for disabled folks actually works for everyone.
Yeah. How does that translate to poems?
I think
there's
a kind of dope disobedience in there.
A dope disobedience, okay.
A poetics of refusal, like, no, I don't want to do it that way. I'm going to do it my way, and figuring it out for yourself. Like, when you are disabled, you have to figure out how to make public space or environment or relationship or any kind of, I don't know, anything you encounter work for your disabilities, right? Neurotypical folks, non-disabled folks might just say, well, you got to just fit in or you just conform. But if you're disabled, you're not capable of that conformity. And so you do need those modifications. And so in poetry, I think I've been attracted to invention, definitely attracted to what may seem inscrutable and the puzzle of it all. I'm interested in that. Beauty looked at not as something linear, but as maybe what we were talking about earlier with regard to time, simultaneous, expansive.